This is Josh Friedman in Athens, Greece, where at the moment the gods are not cooperating. They are sending down rain on my trip to the birthplace of democracy. Surrounding me is just that. It is the birthplace of democracy. Above me is the Acropolis, the ancient Greek city atop a hill where the Parthenon still stands more than 2,000 years later. The Parthenon was dedicated to the patron goddess of Athens, Athena. And below me is the ancient Greek agora that was the city marketplace or gathering place where goods and services were exchanged, but it was also a marketplace of ideas. The agora down below was the administrative center of Athens in the 5th century BC. When democracy was founded, there was a functioning democracy back then, or maybe, based on your view, a dysfunctional democracy or a dysfunctional system of governance. In fact, many of the most prominent thinkers from ancient Greece and Athenian democratic times were the loudest critics of democracy. Probably the biggest black eye out of any one event back in the times of Athenian democracy was the execution of Socrates. Socrates, one of the foremost Greek philosophers and one of the foremost philosophers in all of world history and Western thought, who was adamant about questioning everyone, everything. Well, because of the system of governments that was set up, Socrates was given the death sentence for the crime of corrupting the youth. And he was killed, and that gave ammunition to the pupil Plato, who was a very prominent critic of democracy and basically equated democracy to tyranny. In the eyes of Plato, only the philosopher kings, or the people who really lived lives of reason and wisdom, only they were fit to rule. Plato did not believe in the one man, one vote, or the one citizen, one vote system that was functioning down at this agora below me. In Athenian democracy, every citizen had a vote. Not only was it the original form of democracy, but it was the original form of direct democracy. However, many people, in fact, the majority of the population, were excluded from involvement in the government. They were disenfranchised. Only about 10 to 20% of the population could vote. They were all adult males who owned property, and I believe they had to have either had military experience or training as well. Women were not allowed to vote. Additionally, there were slaves in Athenian democracy, so quite clearly it was not a system of self-rule. In Athenian democracy, in the eyes of many at the time and in the eyes of many people today, democracy was nothing more than mob rule. It was plunder, which some people said was plunder carried out by the poor against the rich. And today, of course, in the many democratic countries that exist in the world, people can vote to take away money, property, liberty, and even life from other citizens and other members of society. So while democracy lives on, and like the contributions from ancient Greece to modern Western civilization, such as in architecture, language, philosophy, so much of Western thought and Western civilization originated right here in hilly Athens, Greece. Well, it's alive and well in society today, in the eyes of some. In the eyes of many others, particularly a lot of the contemporary Greek citizens, democracy has become dysfunctional. In contemporary Greece, people are born, they come into the world owing about $30,000, give or take, because of the Greek national debt. And Greece, as a member of the so-called democratic European Union, has many laws and policies and regulations forced upon its citizens. Similar stuff is occurring in the United States of America, the so-called shining city upon a hill, the beacon of democracy, albeit the U.S. is technically a republic, but it functions as a democracy, and citizens in the U.S. are born owing, give or take, $60,000, and that is due largely to democracy, a system in which people can vote to confiscate others' wealth. Now, obviously, many people still love democracy, as evidenced by the numerous countries over the past century that have signed up for the system of governance. So it is quite remarkable that what was born out of this little marketplace below about 2.5 millennia ago remains functioning today, albeit quite dysfunctional, and arguably it is time for a new system of governance to be created, and we shall see if and when and where that emerges. But for now, that is it from Athens, Greece. Efaristo, excuse me, and have a great evening. Goodbye.